Hi everyone, I thought I would do a little vlog of our time in Odense when we went to Denmark for our conference. We absolutely loved this zoo, so I thought I would just take you along for the adventure. They did have quite a few reptiles there, so there was a Shinisaurus, they had Vietnamese mossy frogs. The zoo itself had an amazing atmosphere. It was set in a wonderful city with massive enclosures. They're all naturalistic. Overall, we were just really impressed with the place. There were some really cool species that we don't usually see here in the UK, such as the red ibis. Some of the enclosures were a little bit smaller than I would have wanted, such as the sea lion enclosure. But the place opened in the 1930s, so there will be some enclosures that do eventually need to be updated. And they can only do what they can do with the space that they have. The manatee is something that I have always wanted to see, and it's not something that we have here in the UK, so I was literally mind blown when we saw them. They have a fused vertebrae in their neck, which means that they can't just turn their head, so it was just beautiful to see them kind of like twirling in the water as they took in their surroundings. They are kept with lots of different fish as well, such as pacu, arowana, catfish, which they all live together peacefully. Hang on, my frog. Oh my goodness. That happens every time I try and record something, so hopefully he doesn't do that again. But you can see the manatee would look up and go to reach up and jump and forage for all of the overhanging leaves. There were a group of them. They were the first to be successfully bred in Scandinavia. It's a breeding pair and their offspring, and they've been really successful. They look really happy there. They're very peaceful. It was just amazing to see them. You could then go through the almost like rainforest lagoon style theming. They had an anaconda, a boa constrictor up there, and then you went down through into this viewing platform, which was amazing, and you could kind of watch at their level and see them swimming through all of the other fish. It was just amazing. They had dwarf caiman there, and they're so good at this theming. They had like a tropical hut. Then you went through and you walked around into suddenly it got really cold, and you went through this corridor, and there were penguins. Penguins always have a soft spot in my heart. They had 3 different species: king penguins, Genty penguins, and rockhopper penguins. They change the lighting throughout the year to reflect the natural light cycles that they would experience, and this encourages them to breed. And as you can see, they had little fluffy kind of teenager penguins ready to kind of start maturing and be adults. He just looks so awkward, bless him. They had this amazing deep water that they could really get some speed on them. I'm used to seeing Humboldt penguins who are a little bit more derpy, but these guys would literally just zoom through the water past us. These little prairie dogs were so cute. They were allo grooming together. It was so sweet. They had these treetop like boardwalk and rope walk, which was amazing. It kind of took you up into the treetops 12 meters off the floor, and you got a lovely view of not only the zoo, but then it took you through. They showed you all of their like nest box for birds, owls, squirrels. They have these cool black squirrels instead of our red squirrels. Liam wasn't very keen on the rope bridges. He actually found it quite daunting, which to me was very amusing.
You've got this.
I'm so heavy it makes it move so much.
I had a completely different experience, and I was just absolutely blown away at how you felt like you were part of the canopy, and you could just hear the birds singing around you. You could feel the bridge moving in the breeze as if you were literally a squirrel on a branch. I just thought it was amazing. The zoo was split in half, and there were bridges over this natural stream, which was full of fish, and just the hoofstock had amazing paddocks that were so like natural with lots of cover. This is the best Sitatunga enclosure I've ever seen. It was acres of marshland that they would use, and you can see that there is actually a Sitatunga laying there, just grazing, just hidden amongst all of this marsh. We also found a dead fish, which I decided to film. There were little baby house martins, which were adorable. It was just amazing. Literally, the zoo itself was had the animals in the enclosures, and then all of this wildlife around them. The lions were literally laying on top of that, watching the giraffe opposite being fed.
I have those LEDs though.
We weren't too impressed with the big cat enclosures, and some of the older stuff such as the camels and things like that. I thought that they could do better, but everything had so much enrichment. Same with the tigers. We thought the enclosure itself was quite small, although they had a lot to do. It just wasn't a lot of space. Again, the theming of this place is amazing. They had a Darwin's house, which they had loads of different things, like a Sinaloa milk snake. They had a corn snake. There was a blue-tongued skink. There were like millipedes and beetles. They also had loads of taxidermy for you to touch of all the different species, so you could experience what it felt to stroke a red panda or a penguin. I thought it was a little strange. It's not something that probably would fly well in the UK, but it was really cool. The Aldabra tortoise were amazing. You see, even just throwing browse on the floor for them, every single animal at the zoo had some kind of enrichment that they were giving them. Just, it was so well done. I just like the lemur's pose.